Evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Donald Kerr. I manage the student lending program for AAA Northeast. Um, I'm here to talk to you tonight about a very big question. When is it the best time to refinance or consolidate my student loans? And the obvious, simple answer for that is really only you know when the best time is for you to consolidate or refinance your student loans. But hopefully, tonight, what you're going to get from me is a lot of information about what to look at and what to consider and factors to be aware of when you're deciding if it's right for you or not to refinance your student loans. So, I know a lot of us out there have student loans, myself included. I have one off in college. So I'm doing this from a parental perspective, as well as my 25 years of experience in the education finance industry. So hopefully you'll find it useful tonight. Um, so, how I'm going to talk about this or take this approach on when it is right for you to refinance your student loans, I'm going to break it down into two main um, attacks, so to speak. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because there are two types of student loans that are out there. Every student loan is going to break down into one of two categories. It could break down into a federal student loan, or it could be a private student loan. Some people aren't even aware of the difference, but basically, federal student loans are going to be things like the subsidized, unsubsidized loans, Parent Plus loans, even direct consolidation loans. These are loans you got as a result of filling out the FAFSA form and going through the financial aid process. So those are examples of federal loans. Private student loans can be loans that came from any bank directly. Probably the biggest way to know if it's a private student loan is whether the parents or somebody else had to co-sign the loan, and you have two parties responsible for them, the student and the parent. And these are loans that are made directly through banks. So any of your little local banks or any of the big major banks that are in the student loan business, you will know that they are the lender, and that's where it came from, as opposed to the federal loans come from the federal government. So I'm going to start with those first, the federal loans, so you can have a good idea on when is the right time to do the federal loans. So, a little bit of background or some things to consider first with federal loans. Obviously, you want to go through your federal loan portfolio, look at everything you have, and look at each individual loan and what is the interest rate that's on those loans. You're going to find a pretty big range. It could be as low as in the twos, could be high as almost 7%. I've even seen some Parent Plus loans go as high as almost 8%. So you could have a pretty broad range of what your rates are in your federal loans. But one of the most important factors on whether it's right for you to refinance or not is knowing what that interest rate is. So do your research and make sure you understand what all your interest rates are. The other very, very important thing with federal loans is you're going to get benefits. There's lots of benefits or entitlements that come with federal student loans. And if you refinance them or consolidate them into a private student loan, those benefits go away. So you absolutely need to make sure it's worth it for you before you even consider doing something like that. And what benefits am I talking about? Well, for example, right now, all federal student loans are in essentially a freeze. Basically, due to the pandemic, the federal government, as part of their relief acts, put a freeze on federal student loans, meaning no payments are due and no interest is accruing. So you actually have 0% interest rate on those loans. We do refinance loans, and I think we've got some attractive rates, but we certainly can't beat 0%. So keep that in mind, that one of the biggest benefits is that right now. So all federal loans are in this freeze until the end of September. So your first payment or your next payment should be due probably somewhere around October 22nd or so. So there are other benefits out there as well, not just things related to the pandemic. But federal loans come with a myriad of benefits, such as public service loan forgiveness programs. You can also get military benefits if you have somebody's in the military. There could be reduced interest rates for active deployment. Even if you're not going to get something like a public service forgiveness program or in the military, maybe you're just having a tough time paying your student loans. There are income-based repayment plans that will always make sure, no matter what your income is, you can afford your payments on your federal student loans. So there's a lot of benefits out there. You want to look at them and understand them and make sure what benefits you might take advantage of, and what benefits you may have no interest in. If you work for a private organization and you got very secure employment and prospects for your future employment are very bright and you don't anticipate needing any of these benefits, well, then maybe you're okay with giving them up, but you need to evaluate that. So in addition to looking at what your interest rates are, learn what your benefits are on your federal student loans and make sure if you decide, hey, I want to refinance these, that you're okay giving up those benefits. Now, maybe you are. Let's assume you are. You're ready to give up those benefits and say, hey, it's okay. I still want to refinance these loans. There's a timing aspect to it. Because they have a 0% interest rate right now, I certainly wouldn't recommend for anybody to refinance federal loans right now. There is a bit of a process involved when you go through consolidating and refinancing the loans. It can take on average 30 to 60 days, as long as 60 days for everything to go through, from when you apply online to your old loans get paid in full, and then your new loan gets created with a better interest rate and repayment terms. So for anybody who's got federal loans and is in this federal loan freeze, probably around August, first week in September, that's probably the ideal time for you to look at this and actually think about submitting an application. If you have interest rates on your federal loans that are higher than what the market rates are right now, and if you're not worried about giving up those benefits, that's probably a good time to look at it in the August time frame. You also, maybe if you have very good interest rates on your federal loans, you want to retain those benefits, but you don't like having 8 or 12 loans all over the place. The federal government does have a consolidation program where you can combine all the loans and put them into one to make your repayment a lot easier. It's called the Direct Consolidation Program. The downside to that is you don't get a better interest rate. You get a weighted average interest rate, so it's basically a break-even point. But it can definitely help you manage your loans better, and it can retain all those federal loan benefits. So that's a good way to look at your federal loans and what type of approach to take for the federal loan perspective. Private loans, they're definitely a different beast. So for those people, I always say if you have private loans, absolutely right now is the best time to look at them. When you were in school and you were taking out the loans, that could have been a couple of years ago. Market interest rates are dramatically different from what they were a couple of years ago. We're actually at some historically low interest rate environments right now. A lot of folks might be hearing, oh, hey, hurry up and refinance your auto loan, hey, and refinance your mortgage before the rates start to go up. By the way, we can help you with both of those as well. Not myself, but we can also help. AAA can help you refinance mortgages and auto loans as well. So a lot of people are looking at that right now, and you certainly should. The rate environments are very good right now. You never know what they're going to be in the future, but when you're at historic lows in the long term, you really only got one way to go, which is up. So that's why I say everybody with private loans should at least look at it. The private consolidation process, the way it works, a lot of lenders, including our loan product, you can go online and apply and to do an initial application. and they come back, they check your credit, and they come back with a interest rate quote and sample repayment options. So now you can see, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's my current interest rates and my current payments. This is how I would compare and what my benefits could look like if I did go through a refinance. Now you'll have some actual numbers in front of you, and now you can really see if that's worth it for you. You can see if you're going to save a point on the interest rate. You can see if you're going to save $300 a month. And then you can decide, hey, this is right for me. I want to continue on and complete the entire application. So private loans, to do something like that, those are usually no cost, no obligation, easy ways to go online and get a very simple rate quote. Lots of options. You can also switch. Maybe you had variable rate loans. You took them out when you were in college and you want to lock them over to a low fixed rate loan now. Absolutely, you could do something like that. Perhaps you've seen variable rates right now and see how absolutely low they are. Some people have gone that way and gone over and gone to variable rates because they can be really low right now. A little bit risky because you don't know what they're going to do in the future. They could go up, but some people are willing to take the chance and save that money. Everybody is different, and you're going to make up the mind, your choice, that's the best for you. They offer lots of different terms on the loans as well. Perhaps you're in a really good financial position. Well, you could switch your student loans when you refinance them and consolidate them down to a short-term loan, like 5 years, and get them paid off real quick. Maybe you're not in a good position financially right now. Maybe you've been impacted by the pandemic and you need some monthly savings. Well, you could take your private loans and stretch them out to a 20-year loan and lower your monthly payment. That's an option as well. But again, when you go online to check into this, they will give you all the different options. They'll show you what your 5-year repayment amount and interest rates would look like, your 10-year, 7, 15, and even up to that 20-year option. So private loans is something you should absolutely definitely take a look at right now because of the interest rate environment we're in. I really wouldn't wait any longer, and it's a no-cost obligation to see that. So when you're considering those two different approaches that I kind of talked about, I do hear from time to time from people who say, well, I do want to put all my loans together, both my federal loans and my private loans. I want to throw them into one. You can do that. That is possible. So if you want to have that true one student loan payment, you could do that. A private consolidation will allow you to put all federal loans and private loans into one. However, you do have to keep that in mind about those benefits you may be giving up on the federal side. If you're not going to take advantage of those things, that could be right for you. But if you're somebody who could qualify for public service forgiveness, may need to rely on an income-based repayment plan, then you may want to still keep them separate. You could always come back later and add them back in a second time. Student loan refinancing, one really unique thing I like about them is there's no cost to it. So you're not going to have any application fees, no origination fees, no closing cost. So you can really refinance and consolidate as many times as you want to, as long as it's in your favor. Some of my best advice to folks is always look at your loans once a year. Look at your student loans once a year. How are they structured? What rates do I have? And what are the current market rates? Can I do better? Do I need to change the way my loans are structured? And what are my goals? Do I want to get these paid off quickly? Do I need that monthly payment? There truly is no cost to refinancing your loans. So keep that in mind when you're considering it. Lots of people get overwhelmed and consider it a major financial decision, and which it is. And they get afraid to lock themselves into something or do something that they could actually benefit from. Don't have that fear. Do what's best for you right now, and then a year from now you evaluate, and if that's no longer the best situation for you, you can change that by refinancing and reconsolidating again. So just to recap on the federal loans, because they're in a freeze right now, the best time to wait to do those is going to be to around August, September. So it's right around the corner. So do your research, look at your rates on your loans, and look at those benefits and evaluate whether you think you're going to need any of those federal loan benefits. Certainly there can be exceptions to that rule for everybody that's out there. I know I had somebody I spoke with, they had a plus loan that was almost 8%. And even though they understood it was a 0% loan right now, they wanted to refinance it because they didn't want to lose out on historically low interest rates. So they were so afraid of not getting a good interest rate later that they wanted to refinance it now. That may have been right for that particular person in that situation, and that's great. But my rule of thumb, wait until around August, and that should be the perfect time for the federal loans. Private loans, you should absolutely look at those right now. Get on it immediately. Research your private loans, what rates you have, and then evaluate your goals. What are you trying to do? Do you need monthly payment relief? Are you trying to pay them off earlier? Then look at the market rates that are out there. We do have a loan program available everybody could look at. You can find it at AAA.com under loans and banking. Then you'll see refinance loans. You can also go under that loans and banking to see about refinancing your mortgage and refinancing an auto loan as well. So not only hopefully can I save you money tonight with your student loans, but AAA could potentially save you money on refinancing those other financial products you have as well. So that's all pretty much that I wanted to cover tonight. Like I said, my information, in case anybody needs to contact me, you can feel free to reach out to me at any point in time. My email will be dkerr, Kerr, at aaanortheast.com. You can also reach me by phone, 401-868-2000, extension 2433. But please visit us online again, AAA.com, under loans and banking, to see all the way AAA can help you refinance and save you some money. I think that's it. I don't see any questions coming in for everybody tonight. Not a lot of questions. So thank you very much, everybody, for taking time out of your day. And hopefully you found this information valuable. And good luck refinancing your loans, and let me know if I can be of assistance.